Hammy time here, and this is the second update on Gimli's triple-decker bin cage. So this is what it looked like when I first presented it. It was 3 bins with a rooftop deck and a removable playpen. This is what it looked like in the first update. I had moved into the corner of the room and added a large wraparound playpen. And this is what it looks like now. I added another bin, another rooftop deck, some more tubes on the insides, and a wood table with plexiglass walls. This is closer to my original design, which is a total of 6 bins. I don't think I'll add any more bins. I like having his cage on a table, and adding more bins would make it too tall. I decided to use a large table that I had to raise Gimli off the floor and to give me some storage space underneath. I was getting tired of having to go into the other room to get all of his stuff, and this table gives me a place to store all of the essentials. The plexiglass pieces are from custom frames that I had and was no longer using. The pieces just happened to fit the length of the table, so I didn't have to cut them down. The corners are taped on the outside, and I'm using thumbtacks to keep the walls from bowing out. The table has a skirt that I made to hide all the stuff underneath, and the legs of the table are sitting on carpet sliders so that I can easily move the table out to change Gimli's water bottles. So a few people have asked me if they could put other animals in this cage. Any animal bigger than a dwarf hamster, which is very small, would be a no. However, I think that Chinese hamsters would be okay. My chart shows that they're just a little bigger. It really depends on whether or not they can fit through the critter shell tubes. When I designed this cage, I designed it exclusively for Gimli. I had no other animal in mind when I made it. I wasn't even thinking of other dwarf hamsters. This was all for Gimli. I made this cage for him simply because I really thought he would enjoy it. You don't need to make a cage like this one to make a nice home for your hamster. Making cages is a hobby of mine, so this may be a bit much and it isn't necessary. It took me a very long time to find all of the parts that I used. All of the parts are from used cages that I found at thrift stores, and it took about 1 year to collect everything. I like to recommend large plastic bins that give your hamster a lot of space. You can modify it like I have if you want to, but it may be best to keep it simple so cleaning and maintaining it isn't such a chore. I have a cage cleaning video planned, so I would recommend watching that before trying to make a cage like this one, especially if you plan to use a lot of tubes. I actually like cleaning Gimli's cage, but I can understand if people don't have the time to clean a cage like this. Here's a closer view. The rooftop is still his favorite place to hang out. I don't see him out on the table as much, but I know he goes out there because he makes really big messes on the table. I love to see the sand everywhere with little footprints in it. It lets me know that he's been having a good time. This is an overview of the inside of the top right bin. I was able to configure the tubes to fit the inside without having to use Velcro to hold them in place. This is the lower right bin. I added KT Puzzle Playground pieces to this one. This is the top left bin. I added KT Puzzle Playground pieces to this one as well. This is the bottom left bin. It has more KT Puzzle Playground pieces added to it. I call this Gimli's Dining Hall. If you're familiar with assembling KT Puzzle Playgrounds, you'll know how hard it can be to get these pieces to snap together. This one is particularly difficult to clean because I have to break it apart and put it back together. So that's all of the changes. If you want to see more details on this cage, you can check out my channel to see the previous videos on it. This cage seems to be evolving, so there may be more updates on it in the future, and as long as Gimli enjoys it, I will continue to improve on it. Thank you for watching.